Alexis Monroe, the CEO at 36, had built a life of elegant control at Hion Systems. Every decision arrived on time, every movement precise, like a symphony conducted in perfect silence. Yet tonight, something dissonant slipped through. On the surveillance screen, the wall clock blinked with quiet urgency. Daniel Wright, the night shift janitor, moved through the shadows with unsettling grace. His lean frame bent over the chief technical officer's desk. Fingers flew across the keyboard. Quick, practiced, certain. Then a small drive disappeared into his jacket. No panic, no tremor, just calm competence that sent a shiver down Alexis's spine. Unsettling and strangely magnetic. This wasn't the first time. She rewound the footage, hour after hour. Server room, R&D hallway, closed conference room. Again and again, Daniel appeared like a ghost, a spy, a thief, or something she couldn't yet name. Alexis hated unanswered questions. The product launch was weeks away. Whatever he was, she would find out. That night, she left the blazer hanging in her office, slipped into a soft charcoal sweater, worn jeans, hair pulled low, no makeup. Only her eyes remained sharp. The eyes that had survived every boardroom war. Daniel clocked out, walked to his old, paint-chipped Honda, and drove away. Alexis followed, 3 cars back, headlights off, heart loud in the silence. From the polished glow of Beacon Hill to the tired streets of Dorchester, the city shed its shine. He stopped at a fading building. The sign read, Harbor Light. Barely, he lifted a heavy backpack and disappeared inside. Alexis stayed in her car, fingers tight on the wheel, something ancient twisting in her stomach. She didn't know yet that behind those doors waited not danger, but a fragile map to a life she had stopped believing in. Through fogged glass, she watched him switch on the lights. No cameras, no security, just worn chairs, a leaning whiteboard, and Daniel, moving with quiet reverence. He arranged laptops like altars, untangled cords like prayers. Then the children came, coats too big, backpacks frayed, eyes that had already seen too much. He greeted each by name, a hand on a cold shoulder, a soft word that felt like warmth. Alexis's pulse, which had been hammering, slowed, found a gentler rhythm. Daniel stood at the board. Remember what we learned about optimization algorithms? His voice was no longer the janitor's murmur. It was steady, warm, alive with quiet authority. Tonight, we'll build something that helps the whole neighborhood. He drew loops, variables, possibilities. Little fingers flew across keys. No phones, no noise, only hunger for understanding. Lucia, curls bouncing, raised her hand. Sir, could we use this to fix the center's database too? Daniel smiled, soft and proud. Exactly, Lucia. That's the magic. Alexis stopped breathing for a moment. On those screens unfolded code that would challenge college students. Yet here, guided by a man in a janitor's shirt, children claimed it. After class, he led a small group to another room. 5 old laptops, shining like new. These are yours now. Everything's installed. Password is your birthday. Just like we practiced, a boy, maybe 10, hugged his laptop to his chest, eyes wet, but shining. Alexis felt her throat close. The surveillance clips rewound in her mind, no longer fragments of threat, but pieces of a story she had been too armored to see. Not a spy, not a thief. A man picking up the world's broken pieces and teaching children how to make them whole again. She reached for the door handle, then stopped. Had she ever truly seen him? Until this moment. The next morning, her corner office felt colder than usual. Coffee steamed, untouched. Jonathan Daniel Wright, Senior Systems Architect. Vanguard Logic. One click, then another. There he was, 2015 conference photo. Same eyes, same quiet strength, then nothing. Silence. A lawsuit. Unlawful termination. Whistleblower. Flawed medical software that could have killed people. He'd spoken up. They'd buried him. Settlement quiet. Wife gone to cancer. Daughter left behind. No more jobs in tech. Alexis pressed her palm to the cool wood of her desk. The weight of unseen lives pressed back. She thought of the boy holding the laptop like treasure, of Daniel's patient voice, not for stock prices, not for applause, just because someone should. She sat very still. No alerts, no emails, just the first real silence she'd allowed herself in years. Late that afternoon, she went back to Harbor Light. This time, she walked through the door. The air smelled of old books and warm plastic, and children's voices down the hall. Linda Chavez looked up, silver hair in a neat knot, eyes that had read 1,000 stories. Good afternoon. Can I help you? Alexis Monroe, Hion Systems. I'm here about Daniel. Linda tilted her head. He never mentioned knowing anyone from Hion. We don't know each other. Not yet. I just need to understand what he's doing here. Linda walked her through the center. Children building computers from scraps, teens designing websites for neighborhood shops. Lucia waved. The boy with the new laptop smiled, shy and bright. Before Daniel, Linda said softly. Opening a Word document was a miracle. Now look. Alexis looked. Peeling paint, broken chairs, but children sitting tall, believing they belonged. He doesn't just teach, Linda whispered. He fixes everything, writes the lessons himself. Comes every night after cleaning your building. No pay, no credit. They stopped outside a small room. Daniel was helping an elderly woman see her grandchild in Venezuela. For the first time in 8 years, her tears fell on the keyboard. Daniel's hands stayed gentle on hers. We have 60 kids waiting, Linda said. We're short on everything. But Daniel, he makes something out of nothing. Alexis heard her own heart speak, clear as any boardroom slide. If we can miss someone like him, we're building everything wrong. Days before launch, the 13th floor erupted in panic. Red alert. Critical failure. The whole platform was collapsing under load. Engineers shouted, leads argued. Time bled away. Alexis sat quiet, watching the hallway through glass. Daniel wiped the wall, slow circles, but his eyes were reading the crisis like code. She stood, opened the door. Daniel. He turned. I need you. He followed without question. In her office, lines of error screamed across the screen. He sat. Hands hovered, then fell. It's not the integration layer, he said. Voice calm, certain. It's memory leakage in the original Vanguard module. Once traffic passes threshold, the stack dies. Alexis didn't ask how he knew. Can you fix it? If I give you everything you need. He met her eyes. Take me to them. In the war room, 12 senior engineers stared at the janitor beside their CEO. This is Daniel Wright, Alexis said. Voice cutting clean through the noise. Lead architect. Vanguard Logic. He just found your bug in 30 seconds. For the next 48 hours, he leads. Listen. 2 days later. The platform didn't just survive launch. It flew cleaner, faster, elegant. Stock rose 12%. Daniel went back to his mop, but no one looked past him anymore. Monday morning, the entire company filled the atrium. Alexis stood on the platform, voice steady, eyes soft. Today we celebrate something bigger than numbers. She told them who Daniel had been, what he had risked, what he had lost, and what he had quietly kept giving. Then she walked to him, still holding his cleaning cloth, and offered him head of engineering. The room held its breath. Daniel stepped forward. Thank you, truly, but I have to say no. A ripple of shock. I lost a career once, he said, looking at every face. But I found meaning. Those kids, they need me more than any title. Alexis smiled. Not surprised, only sure. Then we'll bring the work to them. Hion will fund the initiative. Harbor Light becomes our partner. And Daniel, you'll lead it. The atrium exploded in applause. He looked at her, caution melting from his eyes. I accept, he said softly. But only if every decision puts the kids first. She smiled, real and unguarded. Then let's begin again, the right way. A week later, a new sign went up. Harbor Technology and Community Initiative. In partnership with Hion Systems, Daniel became director. Same work, better tools, more kids through the door. Alexis's visits stopped being inspections. The clipboard stayed in the cars. She sat on the floor, laughed when circuits smoked, gasped when a 9-year-old explained recursion better than most seniors. One evening, she found her son Noah arguing code with Daniel's daughter Ava. Daniel watched, arms crossed, smiling like sunlight. My son never cared about anything I built, Alexis whispered. Daniel's eyes twinkled. Maybe because Hion never had dinosaurs. She laughed. Free, light, human. The program grew. Kids came back as teachers. Scholarships appeared. Interns walked into Hion wearing Harbor Light hoodie, and somewhere between shared dinners, late-night cleanups, and children's laughter, Alexis and Daniel stopped being titles. They became two people who had both lost their way once and found it again, side by side. One December board meeting, someone questioned the budget line for Harbor Light. Alexis stood quiet until the room waited. She showed them photos, Ava and Noah grinning over working code, a former student now testing software at Hion, a grandmother crying happy tears on a video call. "This isn't charity," she said. "It's correction. Daniel once wrote the bones of our company, and we let him mop our floors. Never again." The board voted to continue. Afterward, Daniel waited in the hall. "You don't have to keep fighting for me." She looked out at the gold city. "I'm not fighting for you anymore, Daniel. I'm fighting for everyone, still waiting outside these glass walls." Spring came. New classroom. New sign, Wright Technology Lab. Children ran under paper flags. Parents held coffee in pride. Alexis spoke briefly, then found Daniel at the back, helping Noah and Ava wire sensors. She slipped her hand into his. He curled his fingers around hers without looking, like it was the most natural thing in the world. No words, just the quiet promise that some things don't need titles or stock prices or even names. They only need to be seen, to be held, and to be allowed to keep building, because some architectures, like some hearts, take time to reveal their full strength. And at Harbor Light, the building had only just begun.